Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop.
I'm your host.
Your DFS Jerusalem coming to you live from the
Listen, you got 150 entries and then you're a shark and I don't fuck with you. So
There's too much good shit on here. This is the often imitated, never duplicated. I'm here with my lovely co-host. Thank y'all. Stay safe. Enjoy. I may have been calling in to work. You're going to be in the running for the Snowflake of the Year. Get your shit together with your Snowflake. I'm at the crib, man, and I'm just finishing up. Stop. Throw them bitches in the main. I'm telling you. You're going to see the results, bro. You're going to see it. This is what's really going to help you out. You know how I feel about the home dogs. There's a lot of fight in the home dogs, and I really think a lot of shit to go over tonight. Who that scored all them points over there? Player of the night.
get them in your lineups, get them in there, and let's go get this money.
Thursday, let's go, and remember, in the sweatshop, we always keep it 300. Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the 9-game NBA slate we have, talking a little bit of pitching in the early MLB slate. Also looking at the rest of the week as far as all of the fantasy options that we do have. I know we do have 9 games today. Then we've got 5 games on Tuesday, 14 games on Wednesday, and then there will be no more regular season NBA. That will be the end, and the playoffs start Saturday on the 19th. So we are coming to a close as far as NBA season. The playoff race is pretty much, well, the playoffs are pretty much set on the Western side. I mean, there's nobody can get in. Everybody's done. Russell Westbrook made sure that the Denver Nuggets were not going to be able to make the playoffs this year. So that 1 through 8, they're already set. Now, in the Eastern Conference, we still have a shuffle between 2 or 3 teams that still can possibly get that 8th seed. So we're going to be looking at that as we build that initial player pool, just so that we can know who is going to be playing for something and where we can, put the most of our salaries. Because you don't want to play guys that are playing for nothing. And you don't want to, get too much invested in teams that, could sit guys because their playoff seeding is already locked in. So unless you're playing for like a scoring title or some kind of career best or something like that, or something like Westbrook was doing tonight, then you really need to bypass those guys and kind of look toward guys are going to be playing for something. So let's go ahead and check that out, jump into that. But the first thing we're going to do, well, I got to tell you, okay, so woke up this Sunday morning, beautiful Sunday. Said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and set my MLB lineups and let's go to the beach, man. I rounded up the wife and the kids. We head out to Myrtle Beach. We live about an hour and a half away from Myrtle Beach. We go down there, have a really great time, get some good food. We're on the beach, we're playing, and just having a wonderful time, man. Now on the way to the beach, we're driving in a 2-lane highway, and I see an SUV kind of swerve and cross the road, and it hit a dirt mound, flips over, and it should have flipped on our side of the road, but it flipped to the other side of the road. So we were really shaken up on the way to the beach. We were like, man, that could have happened. I hope the people are okay. Should we stop, go back and see what's up, blah, 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 all that, And so we ended up going to the beach and having a good time, said a little prayer for the people, hoping that they were okay. And so we're leaving and we're coming back. And we're riding. It's a Sunday drive, baby. I'm in the caddy. You know what I'm saying? Got the family, beautiful wife, the children, we good. So we riding, and we get to this caution light where you riding through a residential area. You probably want to slow down a little bit. The speed limit is about 50, so I break it down. I'm at 40, 45. In the caddy, you ain't got to drive too fast. It's all good, So we see a car because there are stop signs on this side going across the intersection, and we have the caution. So I'm slowing down just a touch, and I see the car come to a complete stop. And as I'm continue to go through the caution light, the car just speeds up, bow, and the car hits the driver's side in the back. We fishtail, spin around 2 or 3 times, I'm trying to hold it in the road. I'm thinking, and I got that one hand, like, what is this hand going to do to like shield my family. Like I don't know. This is a reflex. I got the hand here, other hand on the steering wheel, and we shoot up into the little wooded area, and she wrecked the caddy. So I jump out the car, run over to her car. Ma'am, are you okay? Are you right? You're right. She's crying hysterical. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I had the baby in my arm, and then she saw the baby. She really, oh my God. I was like, no, the baby's fine. Baby's fine. We're cool. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Are you safe? So we all making sure everybody is okay. And of course, we call the police, and everybody comes out there, man. And you know, they were so kind because we were on an old country road. Her family came out because she lives in the area, and they were so kind to stay out there with us until her family, that is, until the police did their report. Everything was fine. And then my in-laws had to come from a neighboring town to come and pick us all up, and they stayed with us. So you know, we exchanged our information that we needed to exchange, and hopefully everything can be repaired and everything can be fine. But this is just to show you, man. Please, I have a sneaking suspicion that the young lady, was a very young lady, and a nice young lady. I'm sure she did not set out to, you know, put anyone in danger. I'm sure she didn't, but I'm sure she was texting. So, and I say that to say, man, when you're on the road, man, and I'm guilty of it. Just try your best to leave the phones down while you're driving, man. Texting and driving, man, you can really hurt someone. You can hurt yourself. So I know this is a DFS show, and I'm giving you a PSA right now. But that's just to say, man, I really don't want to see any of you all hurt, man. And I don't want to be hurt myself, and I don't want to hurt anybody. So let's make sure that we really grab a hold to that, man, because man, those smartphones make you dumb. We do some of the dumbest things with a smartphone in our hand. So that's just my rant for the day. Glad the young lady is safe. Glad the family's safe. The kids are tucked away in bed. Wife is too. So I was contemplating, man, I should just go home and go to bed, man. It's been a long day, but nah, man, I gotta do this. I gotta do this for the fam. No matter what, rain, sleet, or snow, I gotta give you what you need. So let's go ahead and jump right into the regular formatting of the show. Now, as you can see here, this is the complete playoff picture. We see, you know, Golden State locked in. We see they're gonna be matched up against Portland in that first round. This is already set. On the Western side, it's already set. These will be the matchups. I'm not sure if any shifting could go on with the last couple of games to the regular season, but we know that Golden State is locked in for that #1 spot. Then you got the #2 slate locked in with the San Antonio Spurs. Houston at the 3 spot. At 4th, we've got the LA Clippers there. So this is pretty much set in stone, man. 1 through 4 is pretty much set in stone. You could see some movement with Utah and the Clippers, but they're just going to trade spots, if anything. So that's pretty much set. Now, on the Eastern Conference side is where you see the first place Cleveland Cavaliers ahead of the Toronto Raptors, who could still catch them. Toronto could still catch them. We got a couple games left in the season for these teams. So also you got Boston here. They are tied for first place in the first place as far as record goes. But I believe that the Cleveland Cavaliers hold the tiebreaker over them. So there still could be some shifting going on in the Eastern Conference. So let's take a look a little bit closer at the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Now, like we already stated, you see the Cavs locked in. You see the Boston Celtics locked in here. There still could be some movement going on now from the Indiana Pacers, Chicago Bulls, and the Miami Heat. Those are 3 teams that, if they are playing, and I think they are playing, those are situations that we do want to target, because those guys are going to be leaving it all on the court trying to get in that last playoff spot. Indiana's going to want to keep their positioning. Chicago wants to keep theirs. Miami is still trying to enter that playoff race. So where these 3 teams are concerned, we've got to be sure that we roster those guys accordingly. Now that we've looked at the playoff picture, especially on the Eastern side, we're going to go ahead with our regular formatting of the show. I did not issue out a core of plays, as you know, on slates, 5 games or less. That's just not something that I think is very beneficial to do. And it was a 5-game slate, I believe, or it was choppy. What it was choppy. It was 7 games, but they had it chopped up in the early, and then we had later games. So I didn't issue out a core for that, but we did have a feature 4 plays. Let's go ahead and talk about the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS Sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, and as well as on Twitter. Now, first guy we're going to start with is the Who Dat. Scoring all them points over there, play of the night. It's going to go to you, the big homie, Dwight Powell at 3.4K. Goes out and scores 37.25 DraftKings points, 32 minutes of action, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, knocked down 4 3-point shots, 2 steals, and 1 block. Very solid game from you, Dwight Powell, and that's why you are the who that scoring all them points over there player of the night. The next guy we're going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight? And this doesn't have to go. Let's just I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you because Kyrie Irving went out today and freaking balled. Now they went down in this game. It was a very good game. The game went into overtime. Did not have to. They could have won this game. But man, we saw a very spirited performance from the Atlanta Hawks in 45 minutes of Kyrie Irving after LeBron fouls out. 45 points, 2 boards, 9 assists, knocks down 8 3-point shots. Also got a steal with only 3 turnovers. Very solid game. That is why I didn't have him anywhere. I had no Kyrie. And usually I roll with just a Cleveland stack, usually. But for some reason tonight, I just didn't feel like I could pay up for Kyrie Irving at 7.7 like some other guys. But he had an excellent game. And that's why tonight you are the how did I miss that play of the night. The next guy we're going to talk about is the heat check play of the year. Russell motherfucking Westbrook. Let me tell you something. 13.9K. That's a hell of a price on him, man. Knocks down the game winner. 50-point triple-double. This only happened 9 times in NBA history. A 50-point triple-double. He's done it 3 times. Harden did it 2 times. This dude, man, I gave him a lot of shit, man, and I've been doing that all year long because, I just really hate the way he plays the position. I love the way he plays the game. But I hate the way he plays the position. But I gotta admit, man, this dude is a overwhelming runaway MVP. James Harden has had a stellar season. His team is probably gonna go further in the playoffs. But Russell Westbrook, man, 13.9K in salary, brought you back 93 DraftKings points in 37 minutes. The dude dropped 50 real life points, 16 boards, 10 assists. Also knocked down 5 3-pointers. Only had 2 turnovers in this game. That was beautiful. Also had a steal. So that's why tonight, salute to you, Mr. Westbrook. You are not only the heat check player of the night, but you are the heat check player of the year. This is your MVP right here. It's got to be. Without a doubt. It's got to be MVP. Now we got to talk about this one motherfucker, man. God. He fucked up some lives tonight. 9.5K. 38 DraftKings points and 31 minutes. He had 23 points, but he just didn't do shit else. He had 6 boards and 3 assists. And this is a guy that we've grown accustomed to, getting close to a triple-double, at least a solid double-double. He had a steal on the block, 3 turnovers, was in foul trouble the whole game. It's just a despicable performance. It just was, especially at that price point. For him, that's. So you a motherfucking snowflake with your old snowflake ass, and I'm not gonna roster your bitch ass again tonight. But Jokic a beast. Jokic is a beast. I don't have to worry about rostering your ass too much longer, because guess what? You ain't gonna make the playoffs with your snowflake ass. Let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now, I had a fairly decent amount of success tonight. Was able to 3 times my buy-in completely across the 2 different sports, MLB/NBA. Man, I had a really hot Brave stack that took off. We saw Freddie Freeman crush, went out and almost hit for the cycle, had a couple of home runs. Dansby Swanson went out and he hit a jack too. It was pretty good. I had Markakis scored a few points, so I was really good, man. I had the only thing that kind of hurt me, that stopped me from really getting to the big money, was the fact that Bryce Harper sucked, as well as NCRT. They both sucked today. Did not register one single DraftKings point for me. So, but I did have a fairly decent day, man. And MLB is really taking shape. We've had a lot of success. We've had success from golf, MLB, MMA, NBA. There's a ton of success recently, and I think it's because the group is really, really working together, man. We've got cats in there that are, sold out completely to helping each other, and it's very awesome. And that's why we are gonna share a little bit of the winners circle, some of the cats that are really, really doing it in there, man. And it's very good to see. It's wonderful to watch. Let's go ahead and check it out. Shout out to the homie Charles Hunter, man. Really solid score, 379 in his tournament, the 6K Sunday block single entry. That's a very good showing for this gentleman. Glad to see you out there doing the damn thing, man. Keep it coming, keep it going. Shout out to Andrew Pierce, man. Took down my first satellite today for the fam, rocking the logo in first place. And, I don't care how much you win or how big the buy-in is. When I see the logo in first place, it warms my heart, bro. When I see that, I love that. Shout out to the homie Andrew Pierce, man. Good way to represent the sweatshop. Thanks, homie. Shout out to Edward McAdams, bro. Why I didn't put this big boy in the big boy attorney, but that happens sometimes. 388.2, excellent score. $5 in fees, took out 87. That is a solid return on your investment. And many of us, most of us will not win millions, is what I'm trying to help you to understand. But many of us can be profitable day-to-day players. Awesome showing for Edward McAdams. This is a guy, man, a very solid cat, man. He's always in the group, chopping it up. He checked on me as soon as he heard about me and my family going through what we went through today, man. Very solid cat, man. Love to have this dude in the sweatshop, man. And there's a ton of guys like this. Very solid showing there for the homies. Yo, shout out to Travis Lavelle. This one was pretty dope too, man. It says, I won more in the first few days of MLB than the entire NBA season. And he had a nice day, man. He had a really nice day. Took home fourth place in the MLB 4K 5-2 player, the 3-entry max. Very solid performance from him. Shout out to the homie, man, Lavelle. Now this is hallmark of when your core bust ass. I love this. This is the homie Brad, man. Just took down the quarter arcade, the 4-point play, the $12 single entry pick and roll, and the 4 winner take alls. Happy Sunday to everyone. Dude goes in, puts in, a fairly solid buy-in, and look at the ROI on that, bro. That is sick. That is sick. And that is love, man. Getting into everything. Really solid NBA tournament for him, man. Dope. Just dope. That's what I love to see. I love to see that, man. Solid night for the homie Brad, man. Shout out to you, bro. The big homie MD, Mark Davis out of Lakeland, Florida. 7 days straight of cashing. MLB is my new favorite sport. And this is an NBA guy, man. Went out and had a very solid showing. Dude's been playing very well lately. I'm so glad to have him in the shop, man. He's always mixing it up, always chopping it up. Those are the guys that win the most. The guys that communicate with each other the most are the guys that win the most in the sweatshop, definitely. And this is just beautiful. This is the homie See Me Rolling, man. Did some damage in the NASCAR 7.5K Super Booster. Well, the top 75 went 100. Well, check him out. He was all over that bitch. Like, he was in there. I'm talking about, he was all over that bitch. That was awesome, bro. Great to see that dude, man. He's a really solid cat, always in the sweatshop, chopping it up. Has very sharp plays. This is just a good dude, a great group, man. I love to see these guys win. And that's the beauty of being with us in the sweatshop, man, especially at the start of a sports cycle. Because if I had these guys with me from the very start of the NBA season to what we've grown to now, and the way we've been able to win with such frequency as a group, as a team, because every night certain handfuls of us win. And if I had these guys with me from the very beginning, like we do have them now in MLB, like this is going to be an awesome MLB season. And then coming around to NFL, bro, like we are chomping at the bit for NFL. I cannot wait until that season begins. So let's go ahead and jump into a little player pricing for tonight's 9-game NBA slate. We're going to roll through this fairly quickly because I do want to talk a little bit of MLB pitching. So let's go ahead and pop this over. Let's take a look. Now we've got 7 p.m. We got 9 games here. We've got a 2-game turbo at 7:30, an 8-game turbo at 3, 3 games in the late, and 2 games in the later. So let's go ahead and check those out. Open that up there and see what we have in the way of our salary. So bam. As you can see, James Harden, the highest salaried guy in the slate. We've got LeBron James at 10.6. I think they still want to play and win. The Miami Heat need to win this game in order to have any shot of getting that last spot in the playoffs, as does Jimmy Butler needs to play well. Giannis, this is not as big a game because, the Charlotte Hornets are dead. So that's not a bigger game. Paul George is going to need to play well at 9.9. And that price is up, man. We got John Wall. For me, I would temper my expectations when it comes to the last couple of games. I mean, if you wanted to take a break and really focus on some MLB right now, this would be a really nice week to do so because the playoffs don't start again until Saturday. And that's when we're going to have, we're going to know the guys that are on the court are coming to fucking play. We're going to know that. So we've got Kawhi Leonard, 8.5. And they know the price is low on him because he's probably not going to play much. Blake Griffin, 8.4. Isaiah Thomas, 8.3. Just Kimba, 7.9. I mean, I mean these guys are professionals. They're gonna play, but I mean, there's a solid chance that they're not gonna leave it all out on the court. You know, so let's go ahead and jump into some really quick player pricing and point totals as we go through that. We're gonna start in in Philadelphia, where the Indiana Pacers are coming to town. This is a 211 point total, with the Indiana Pacers giving up 8 points. Now, automatically, I'm going to lock in Paul George. I like the spot that he's in, even though he is 9.9. This team needs to win, and for them to win, he's got to play well. Miles Turner just start centers against Philadelphia. I like Miles Turner in the spot. I also think that Jeff Teague is very playable at 6.9, and Miles Turner was 6.4. That's as deep as I'm going to go on this Indiana side. That's as deep as I'm going to go. I'm not going any further than that. They're giving up 8 points. It's 109.5 implied team total on the Philadelphia side. It is a 101.5 team total. Now we do have TJ McConnell's gonna be there. Don't really want that. Maybe some Justin Anderson could be in play because we know we're not going to see Robert Covington, Jaleel Okafor, or Sergio Rodriguez. He's shut down for the rest of the season actually. So there's not too much that I do like, man. Maybe Darius Sarge is not going to play much. He's on that hard 24-minute limit. Rashawn Holmes could be somebody that we could definitely look at 5.8. We know we can attack the Indiana Pacers at the center spot. So Anderson and Holmes would be as far as I would go there. Next game we're going to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets going to Boston to take on the Celtics. Now, of course, Boston is still playing for that #1 spot. Then they could get that home court advantage throughout the playoffs. So they're going to come to play, and they're probably going to just blow the doors off of the Brooklyn Nets. So by them giving up 10 points, because it's a 223 point total, and we've got the Brooklyn Nets projected to score 106 points. That means I don't just have to fuck with the Brooklyn Nets starters. I can, not only, I can go Brook Lopez. Yeah, I can go Brook Lopez. I can go Ronnie Hollis Jefferson. Maybe some Karis LeVert, who I do like in the spot. I do like Karis LeVert in the spot, but I can look to the bench as well. You look at that Spencer Dinwiddie at 4K is a play that I do have interest in there. Also, Trevor Booker is a play that I do have interest in at 4K. So I can go 5 deep, rostering a couple guys on the bench from the Brooklyn side. I think we can do that without hesitation. Now, on the Boston Celtics side, Isaiah Thomas at 8.3 is in play. If you think you're going to, by some stretch, the Brooklyn Nets may make this game interesting, you can look at him. I think Al Horford is definitely in play, and Amir Johnson is out, excuse me. So Marcus Smart and Kelly Olynyk are going to be options off of the bench that I think we can take advantage of there. The next game we're going to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Miami. LeBron going back to Miami to take on Pat Riley and the Heat. Now, this game does not have a point total or spread yet for it because we do have a few injuries. We've got Tristan Thompson, who is out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. We've got Dion Waiters is a game-time decision, as well as Luke Babbitt for the Miami Heat. So, I wouldn't have an issue with maybe LeBron Love. I'm not on Kyrie Irving in this spot. LeBron is 10.6. And if you're paying 9.9 for Paul George, who needs to play well for the Pacers to win, well, paying up 700 more for a guy with a higher floor and LeBron James should not be out of the realm of possibility. I think that is definitely something that we can look to. I'm going to look at, on the Miami side, definitely going Dragic. Matchup against Kyrie Irving, I think that's a very solid matchup for him. We can attack those guys at that small forward spot, so you might want to take a look at Josh Richardson or maybe even Rodney McGruder for the cheap is where you can go there. Hassan Whiteside, normally I wouldn't try to test Cleveland at the center spot. We know Tristan Thompson is out, so that puts Hassan Whiteside in play. This team must win in order to get into the playoffs. And James Johnson also off of the bench is an option that I kind of am interested in there as well. So next game we're going to talk about is the Orlando Magic going to Chicago to take on the Bulls. There is no point total or spread yet for this game as well. It's 8 o'clock tip-off time. We do have a couple of injuries. We've got Jeff Green's going to be out for the Orlando Magic, and Rajon Rondo is a game-time decision without hesitation. A couple guys that just jump off of the page to me. Number one is going to be Aaron Gordon at 6.6. I still like that price on him. I do think that we can look to Nikola Vucevic in this spot, and I would like Elfrid Payton. Now, on the Chicago Bulls side, these guys need to win. They need to continue to win. So Jimmy Butler is in play at 10.5. Dwayne Wade is in play at 5.5 if he's going to be getting at least 25 minutes. We can look there. And the game time decision tag on Rajon Rondo is something that probably is going to stick because Dwayne Wade is back. So I think you can look to maybe Jerry and Grant off of the bench, who's probably going to be getting the start if we don't see Rajon Rondo. I kind of like him in that spot. And also Nikola Mirotic is in play as well. So those are a few guys that I do like from that game. The next game we're talking about is the Washington Wizards going to Detroit to take on the Pistons. Now, this game really doesn't mean much. It really doesn't mean much because I don't think the Washington Wizards can move. The point total is 211. The Wizards are giving up a point and a half to Detroit in Detroit. Not too much I like about this game. I mean, I don't want to roster Andre Drummond at 6.6. I don't want anything to do with any of these Detroit guys. I just don't. Nobody is playing to like really show something. Now, if we're gonna see an increase in minutes continually for Boban Marjanovic, yeah, fuck yeah, give me some of that, definitely, because we can attack the Washington Wizards not only at the power forward spot, but definitely at that center spot. Now, Otto Porter is a game time decision, as is Bino Udrih is done for the season. Reggie Jackson is out. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is out, as well as Marcus Morris. So you're gonna get some guys that kind of want to prove themselves and play well. Yeah, maybe Stanley Johnson off of the bench. It could be some of that might interest you, or maybe you might want to rock with Tobias Harris if he does get the start in the spot. But there's not a lot to love on the Wizards side. John Wall is at 9.2. Don't see him going too hard, this close to the playoffs. He is the franchise, and I just don't see him going too hard. So I won't be really. I don't like anybody on the Washington side. Now the game is only a 1.5 point spread. I think that's because they know that these guys are going to be laying down, so to speak. The Wizards they are. So I won't be on them. Next game we're talking about is the Charlotte Hornets going to Milwaukee to take on the Wizards. There was no spread or point total yet for this game, as we do have a couple of injury news and notes to talk about. We're going to talk about on the Milwaukee side, John Henson as well as Malcolm Brogdon. They both are game time decisions, and on the Charlotte Hornets side, Marco Bellinelli is out, and of course, Johnny O'Brien is going to be a game time decision. Now, without Brogdon, I do like Kemba in this spot. He had a pretty decent game against them last time. They were in Charlotte, but I think we can look to Kemba. Nick Batum is also playing that kind of interests me at 7.1. Automatically, whoever the shooting guard is for the Milwaukee Bucks, I like him. And it's funny because Giannis plays so many different positions. Don't know how much we're gonna have to see from him in the way of the playoff seeding. I think they're pretty much locked in. So maybe Chris Middleton and Giannis can be, considerable for us. But I would look to, Greg Monroe in the spot. Maybe he owes me money. And maybe if I want to get real cute on the GPP tip, maybe some Thon Maker to come in and have a really good first quarter and stay on the court for a few minutes, because I think this is locked up. I think Milwaukee is locked up. So we can look to a couple of guys that will be coming off the bench for them, or guys that don't normally see a ton of minutes, maybe to get an increase in minutes. So that's how I'm going to be approaching this. Next game we're talking about is the San Antonio Spurs at the Portland Trailblazers. Now, like I already told you, the Western Conference is set. The San Antonio cannot move up or down. The Portland Trailblazers, I don't think they can move up or down. Either way, they're going to be facing, Golden State or San Antonio. Either way. So there's really no need to go ham with this game. There's no point total or spread yet because we do have a few injuries. Allen Crabbe is a game time decision. DeJounte Murray is out for the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, we know that Nurkic has been out for quite some time, and Festus Ezeli has been out for quite some time as well. So I'm looking for San Antonio to sit a few guys, man. And if that happens again, we can look to the bench. Guys like Jonathan Simmons would interest me. Patty Mills, David Lee, maybe some Kyle Anderson would interest me, as well as Davis Bertans. If we're going to be sitting guys from here, which I think is a definite possibility. On the Portland side, I think Dame's going to come to play a bit. 8.7, that's a very solid price on him. CJ McCollum is not a player that I'm particularly interested in there. There's really nobody who I really like, man, because I want guys that are playing for something. And I just don't think a lot of these teams, especially in the Western Conference, are going to be playing for much. So they're not going to be playing at all. So next game is the Golden State Warriors at home at the Oracle against the Utah Jazz. Now, this is a 10:30 game. This is part of the late night Hammer series. We got two of those. There is no spread or point total yet for this game. We do have a game time decision in place for Steph Curry, as well as Kevon Looney, and we know that Matt Barnes is going to be out. Gordon Hayward is a game time decision. Rodney Hood is out. George Hill, game time decision, and Derek Favors is going to be out in this game. So, you can fuck with this game with caution. We only got 8K for Durant. Is it going to go hard? A big double-double for him is really possible. A 20-point double-double, that'll get you really what you need. I don't have an issue if you want to rock Kevin Durant, because if you don't see Steph Curry, or you don't see you're not going to see too many guys from the Golden State side. Draymond Green's probably there, 7K. I mean, this is ugly, bro. This is ugly. I'm playing this shit very fucking light. I'm not going in. I just can't, because there's too many teams that are not playing for anything, bro. On the Utah side, I mean, who can you play from Utah? Without Gordon Hayward, you've got Rudy Gobert, Dante Exum, Boris Diaw, no Rodney Hood, so you might see Joe Ingles and Joe Johnson. Those guys deserve consideration from me, and that's as far as I can go. Is Joe Jingles and maybe Joe Johnson. As far as I can go. 8.5 Rudy Gobert against Golden State. No, I'm not doing that. Last game on the slate, and this is the game that I think is going to be competitive. I think this game is going to be competitive for a couple of reasons. Number one, James Harden still is in the MVP race, which he really isn't, in my mind, because Westbrook locked that shit up tonight. But I think we still are going to see a spirited performance from not only James Harden, but a few of the other guys on the Houston side. The LA Clippers are giving up 5.5 points. Now, let's take a look at this, man. These point spreads are tricky, because does the fact that the Clippers are giving up 5.5 points kind of say that we don't think the Houston Rockets are going to go far? I mean, are going to go hard? Because just a few games ago, I mean, this would have been a spread no matter where it was at, in Staples or if it was in Houston. It would have been a spread favored toward the Houston Rockets, but now it's favored toward the Clippers. So not sure how I want to take that, man. And for that reason, I think the Clippers' big three is in play. Talking about Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, as well as Blake Griffin. Maybe some JJ Redick there, because we can attack them at the shooting guard spot. Power forward is the weakest spot that the Houston Rockets carry, and I think Blake Griffin can really exploit that. On the Houston side, maybe we can go a little bit of Clint Capella at the center spot. James Harden, if you really want to get jiggy with it and think he's going to see a full run of minutes. If you don't see Nene is out. Montrezl Harrell is in play, definitely with Clint Capella as well. And Eric Gordon is out. Lou Williams is out. Nene is out. Sam Decker is out. Trevor Ariza is out. So they're dressing like 10 guys. We saw Onuaku earlier today, and we definitely can see him again. So be careful about that. Take a look at those games there, and really, set yourself up for success when it comes to that. So let's go ahead. Now that we've chopped up the NBA slate, let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of MLB. Now, taking a look here, we see the MLB tab opened up. We've got a 10-game all-day slate over on DraftKings. Those are going to be the smaller tourney buy-ins or the high-dollar head-to-heads there. If you're one of the high rollers that want to take somebody and to the side and beat them down head-to-head, you can go ahead and throw 5 racks in that. Or we've got the 5-game early. That's what I'm going to be playing. I love these 5-game early slates. That's my bread and butter, bro. And that kind of gets me some more money to play the next day or later on in the evening. We've got a 4:15 afternoon. That's a 3-game slate. We've got 5 games at 7 o'clock, which is going to, serve as kind of the main slate. But we've got some really solid tournaments here in the 5-game early. And then we've got a night games at 8 o'clock. There's going to be 2 night games there. So these, and the beauty of this is, man, this stuff is going to be over by 11 o'clock. I'll be able to get with you guys in the Facebook VIP, and so we can go over pitching for Tuesday's slate. So really solid games in here, man. And this is why MLB is so wonderful, because no matter what speed you like to play, they have something for you. If you want to, get into the all-day joint, you can jump here. If you just want to get your early, if you're a guy that studies the night before, got to work in the morning, or got to, you work in the afternoon or whatever, you study the night before, get your pitching down, get your guys, your lineup set, look at it one time. Once all the rosters are finalized, that means you're playing early, right? But if you're a guy that, hey, you work later on in the day, you have time to set aside during the day to set lineups and look around and get your stuff selected, then you can just wait, and you can play the 4:15 afternoon, or you can play the 7 p.m. the 5 game. Like MLB is so easy to be a part of and still live a regular life. Like NBA was fucking taxing, bro. NBA was taxing because you had to. There are certain times you had to be, glued to your phone or to your tablet. This is, NFL is like that too, because you have to be abreast of things. But NFL is a lot better, easy to manage than NBA. But still, man, MLB is right in the middle, a perfect mix of NBA and NFL, and that's why it is my favorite sport for daily fantasy. So we've got a really solid slate of games. Let's go ahead and jump into that early slate, and we're going to take a look at some pitching prospects and see, how our pitching is going to shape out for that early slate. Now I'll be doing a full pitching review. It's going to be in the VIP. We're going to be doing that in the midday mix. It's going to be geared toward the main slate because we're going to talk about some guys right here. First guy we got on the slate is going to be Chris Sale. Now Boston's going to Detroit. And I can tell you, Sale as a left-hander against Detroit is going to be seeing a ton of right-handed bats at the top of the order. And these are guys that have a very solid history against them. Like these are cats that's been hitting them over the last. I'm talking about Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera, Vic Martinez. Like these guys have been hitting them. So you might want to curb your enthusiasm about spending 12.4K up for Sale. I can tell you, he's not a lock for me. Usually, that ace pitcher on the slate is the guy that you got to have in your lineups, but he's not a lock for me. In the 5 game early, I'll probably roll out 5 lineups, and I might have him in one. Verlander in the very same matchup. Now the question is, can the Boston the Boston Red Sox even give him run support in this matchup? Like, I think this is a low-scoring game. The over/under is 7.5, but I think it'd be like a 3-1 game. Like, I don't see any of the bats really exploding, and that's kind of what's going to take me off of this game completely. Because the only guy that I could roster in this game with complete confidence would be, a guy like Justin Verlander if I want to pay that 10.5. Because I think what he will lose in a couple of runs they score, he can make that up in strikeouts and K potential. So that's probably where I would go. But Chris Sale, man, at 12.4K, that is a very solid fade for me. Very solid fade for me because I think people are going to pay up for him. But yeah, he doesn't have a very good history against this team. So that's just where I'm at with that. Next guy we got, we talked about Justin Verlander some. Taijuan Walker. He's priced at 8.7. This is the Arizona Diamondbacks going to San Francisco to take on the Giants. Right-handed guy, 8.7K. Man, this is such a good hitting team. Now, in this game, it's partly cloudy. The humidity is about 66%. It's a 5-mile-per-hour wind flowing out towards center field. 0% chance of rain, so this game will play without incident. And Taijuan Walker, man, I just don't like to pick on the San Francisco Giants, and I don't think I'm going to pick today and Taijuan Walker to do that. Dude, he's a very solid prospect, but I don't think I'm going to pick today to pick on that cat. Now we got Michael Pineda from the New York Yankees, my New York Yankees at home against the Tampa Bay Rays, man. And the last time he was shelly. He was very shelly the last time against the Tampa Bay Rays, and I don't see why that can't happen again, man. I think I'm going to stack some Rays against this cat. We look at Corey Dickerson batting that left-handed batter. And see, that's the thing that throws him off. Because Pineda's coming up to the bump, and the first thing he's going to see is 2 nice left-handed bats that do have solid career numbers against him. He's going to see Corey Dickerson and Kevin Kiermaier. And if that doesn't warm him up a little bit, he's got to look at Evan Longoria, who has been smashing him. And Evan Longoria is 4.4K, solid price on him. Then he's got Brad Miller at 3.9. So Susan Jr. 3.8. Like, I love this Tampa Bay stack. This was my game 1 stack. This was my opening day stack that really, jumped off MLB for me, and I'm gonna go back to the well here. That's what I like. Next, we've got Ian Kennedy at 8.5K. This is the Oakland A's going to see Ian Kennedy in Kansas City. So, not a big fan. I'm really not a big fan. This game is in Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. 43% humidity, 17-mile-per-hour wind flowing out toward right field. 0% chance of rain, so this game will play without incident. We've got Jarrell Cotton at 7.7, who I kind of like. I kind of like Jarrell Cotton in this spot. I do. The Oakland A's have been hitting fairly well recently, and Ian Kennedy against those cats. I don't have a problem. Matt Joyce, left-handed bat. We've got Jed Lowry, who is switch hitting there. Ryan Healy, who has had a very solid start to the season. Chris Davis is a talent I do like, as well as Stephen Vaught. I think Oakland A's can be a stackable offense here. As far as Jarrell Cotton goes on the other side, he's facing Alex Gordon and Mike Moustakas to begin the rotation. This is very cheap. The Kansas City guys, nobody is above 3.9K. They don't have a 4K player on that roster. Even Lorenzo Cain at 3.9, I think is a very good option, as well as Mike Moustakas. I kind of like him there. So Jarrell Cotton, very solid pitcher. Very solid pitcher. This is gonna be a good one. I think there's gonna be some. It's 8.5 is the total. I think there's gonna be some points scored in this game. So I do like the Oakland A's in this area. I do like them there. Next guy I'm talking about is gonna be James Paxton. He's gonna be on the bump for the Seattle Mariners. This is a dome field, of course. There's 11-mile-per-hour winds flowing out toward left field. Of course, there's no chance of rain. It is a dome, so we're all good there. We've got James Paxton at 8.4K, the left-handed slinger, going out there against George Springer, Altuve, Carlos Correa. Just stack Houston. Just stack Houston. It's plain and simple. Just stack fucking Houston. And I can't, like, break down the importance, man, of stacking batters, bro. I cannot break down the importance of stacking batters. If you got a couple of batters that you really like, you might as well just go ahead and stack around those guys, because that's going to help you, man. If you like a guy and you think he's going to be getting hits, he's going to be, getting on base, there's a good chance the guy behind him is too, the guy in front of him is too. So you hope that he gets RBIs, knocking guys in, and you want to be responsible when it comes to, scoring multiple points in different ways. So that's why you've got to be stacking these cats, man. I went with an Atlanta stack today, and it really, really paid off for me. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. You got Matt Moore on the mound for the San Francisco Giants, tossing against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, Matt Moore is not bad at all. He's priced at 8K, the left-handed guy. There is a 5-mile-per-hour wind flowing out toward center field in AT&T Park. I kind of like him. I kind of like Matt Moore in this spot. I mean, the Diamondbacks are tough. They're very tough, and those guys get on base, and they do play some small ball. They've got Paul Goldschmidt that can really swing the bat. And actually, they're kind of underpriced as well. Goldschmidt is at 4.3, and he is the highest salary guy there. The next highest guy is going to be A.J. Pollock at 3.5. I think we can take advantage of some of that. And really, if you could attack Matt Moore if you like, but man, I like Matt Moore. I think he's in a very solid spot. He's one of my top-rated pitchers on the slate. If I'm not fucking with Chris Sale, then I'm going to be going to guys like Matt Moore and then paying up for some bats. So that's how I'm going to be approaching that. Then we've got Jarrell Cotton. Oakland, we talked about him. Alex Cobb is going to be hurling for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays against my New York Yankees. That's going to be the first game that we have. Now, we know Greg Bird is probably not going to play his day-to-day, but we will see Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, Matt Holliday, Sterling Castro. The Yankees are a stackable offense in this spot. I kind of like a few of those guys there. Really hope that we do see Gary Sanchez back soon. He's been dealing with that injury he has. But, man, Tampa Bay looks great. They look great. Charlie Morton is an early Shelley candidate. He is tossing for the Houston Astros. Now, the thing I like about this is I think if we're going to stack Houston bats, we can look on the other side as well. Just because Seattle has been swinging the bat really good lately, man. We talk about Nelson Cruz, who I like. Robinson Cano, who I like. I also like Mitch Haniger, man. He's had a couple of solid showings over the last few games as well. And maybe some Kyle Seager batting lefty in that 5-hole. So really interesting early slate of MLB. Remember, I'm going to be jumping in the midday mix probably right after the later lineups are announced, because usually MLB will announce it about 5:30 maybe. So that's when we're going to jump in the midday mix, man, and we're going to chop up some pitching and some batting plays. By those times, I'm going to have my MLB Core 4, my NBA Core 4 up for everybody to view on the website. Thank you so much for enjoying the show. If you would like to support the show in any way, shape, or form, my personal PayPal is simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. Thank you for your support of the show by just giving me a voice on YouTube. But if you wanted to become a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop, it's very simple. Go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you will receive our cheat sheets, our DVPs, our rankings, the tutorials that we have that are really good and really good there. Also, I will let back the velvet rope and allow you entry into the very best. You've seen it. You see it. The very best Facebook group online, man. This is where it all goes down. I'm so proud of these guys, man. I love being a part of that. We are a family, and we treat each other like family. So if you want to join the fam, come on in, man. I will accept you. We will all accept you with open arms. There's no dumb questions in the sweatshop. Thank you so much for all of your participation. And the number one thing that I want you to do when you're in the sweatshop, keep it 300.